What's up, everybody? I am Jaspreet Singh from theminoritymindset.com and welcome to The Minority Mindset. If you are interested in investing in real estate, you are in the right place because in this video, I'm going to walk you through a real estate deal. I'm going to actually do it right in front of you because I just closed on this property a couple hours ago and this is going to be a fun deal. This is a 1,050 square foot home. It's got 4 bedrooms, 1 bath, and it's in a really awesome area, very dense area. A lot of people are moving here. As you can see, it's kind of a dense area. This is a place where people want to be. I'm going to walk you through the home. I'm going to walk you through the deal because this property needs work. So let's go inside. All right, so as soon as you walk in, you can smell this property. You get hit by a wave of smoke. It needs work. And so as you can see, the walls are all kind of discolored. The flooring is all kind of discolored. I'll walk you into a few rooms and you'll see more what I mean. But before I bought this property, it was owned by a landlord who had a tenant in here for a couple of years. He was renting it for something around $900 a month, which is way below market value, but they were not taking care of the home. As you can see, there's nothing done. There's not even light fixtures here. The walls are just nasty. I mean, just disgusting everywhere. It's brown. The whole house stinks. I mean, as soon as you walk in, it stinks. You got just discoloration everywhere. There was multiple people that lived here and they were smoking constantly day and night. And so it's just covered in smoke. It smells like mildew. It's just disgusting. And I'm saying it's disgusting because it creates opportunities for investors like me. So as you can see here, right, just nasty walls. Look at this flooring. Just needs a lot of work. Let's go into the kitchen. And so it's a fixer-upper. And so when most people come into a property like this, they get scared, they get grossed out, they walk away because you even got bugs in here. Take a look at this. You see some bugs? They just got bugs everywhere. And so, I walked into this property. It was listed for $120,000. And this is a pretty decent area. You have people buying homes in this area, like this neighborhood, and they're demolishing them, building new homes, and selling them for a lot more. And so, you have homes in this area that are selling for between $150,000 and $400,000. And so when I saw this home on sale for $120,000, I wanted to take a look at it. The first advantage that I had here was that it was occupied by tenants. So somebody who wants to be a homeowner doesn't want to have to deal with kicking out tenants or having to deal with tenants. So you've already eliminated that part of the buyer pool. The second thing is if somebody was okay, a buyer was okay with having to move out tenants or having to do with that, and they could be flexible with the closing. The second thing is most people who want a home to live in would walk in here, they would smell this property and they would immediately walk out. And if the smell didn't get you, it was the bugs, it was the nastiness, because this property needs work. Let me show you upstairs. It's 4 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Oh, but that's not the upstairs. I'm still getting used to this property, but it needs work. And so most people who want to be homeowners are not in the business of renovating homes. And so they can't imagine what it would take to turn this property around. That's opportunity for me. So here is the upstairs. Just look at this flooring. It's just discolored everywhere. I don't know what the red stuff is. That looks nasty. You have just this disgusting carpet. And so that was opportunity for me because I have done a lot of rehabs. I have fixed up a lot of properties. There's this nastiness everywhere. You have ceiling patches with duct tape. You have broken wood. So a lot of issues on the property. And so this opportunity, because most people don't want to deal with that. And so because it was on sale for $120,000, I took a look at it because I know this is way below market value. The fair market value price of this home is probably in the $150,000 to $170,000 range. Listed for $120,000, and nobody was making an offer. Even though this is an extremely hot market. This area has been very popular. You have bidding wars on every home that's in good shape in this area. And this property was getting no offers. So I came in, I think at $104,000 was my first offer. And we ended up settling at around $112,000. And so we were in contract, and during the inspection period, because one of the things that you want to do when you enter into a contract to buy a home is you want to have a due diligence period. And when I was in the inspection period, I saw some issues with the plumbing. I'll get to that a little bit later in this video. But because of that, we ended up renegotiating And so now I just closed on the property for $110,000. And now that I close on it, we're going to start work, get it fixed up, get it looking nice, get it rented out properly with some tenants that want to live in here and take care of the home. That way this property can start generating some money. So let's walk through the deal. Let me start with this. Why do I want to invest in this area? So the first reason why I want to invest in this area is because I've noticed that young people have been moving here. This area is kind of an old city, and we're in Michigan right now. It's an old city, and it's starting to kind of redevelop. You're starting to see young people start to trickle here. It's been happening for the last couple of years, but over the last 12 months especially, I've seen a lot more young people start to move here because you have this really kind of hipster city that's bordering this area, and that's getting very expensive. And so young people are starting to move here. And so the second reason I wanted to buy in this area particularly is because the city is really starting to invest in their own growth. So the city announced that they want to build a downtown. So the reason I picked this particular neighborhood is because just down the street, is walking distance from here, the city is proposing kind of redeveloping the whole main street into a downtown. And they already approved the first $15 million development where they would tear down a building and start building this walkable downtown area. So they want to turn this whole main street into a downtown. It's a pretty large plan, but real estate investing is for the long term. And so I'm really excited for that because if they start building this downtown, you'll see more restaurants and more nightlife and more things start happening here, which would attract more young people, which would make more people want to live here. And so they've already approved a $15 million development. A lot of people don't know about it, but this is why you want to look into what's going on with the city. You can talk to the city hall, talk to the building department, see what's going on, stay in the loop, because a lot of people don't know about it. They haven't broken ground yet. And so I want to be in this area before property values start to skyrocket, before rents start to skyrocket, because all the money that's going to be flowing there. So the reason I want to be in this area and be investing in this area is because, one, I love the location, people are moving here, and money is starting to move here because businesses want to be here. They got the redevelopment company. The second reason I bought this particular property is because of the property itself. I look for distressed properties, either financially distressed or physically distressed, because I don't like to overpay for things, right? It's just kind of the way I am. I want to make sure I get a deal. And so with this particular property, the landlord had issues with the property. He had to do a lot of renovations. He actually spent some money doing some of the sewage work. You can't really see the renovations in this property on the inside because he didn't spend it on the cosmetics, but he did spend money on doing some of the kind of more foundational issues with the plumbing and sewage. And because of that, he had to tear down the garage, rebuild the garage. So he spent a decent amount of money kind of getting the property foundationally right, but he struggled with dealing with tenants. He did not have a property management company. The last tenants that he had in here for around $900 a month, they were not paying rent. They were not taking care of the property. I mean, you can see the shape of the property. Just look at these walls, right? It's just everywhere. The walls are like just smoky. It needs work, right? And so not only was he not getting paid, tenants were not taking care of the property. And so when I was trying to look at this property, the tenants were living here, but were not paying rent. And now the tenants have already moved out, so it kind of worked in my favor because the tenants have moved out, so I don't have to deal with any of that. And so I like this property because the seller wanted to sell. He didn't want to deal with this headache anymore. He knew that the market was hot, so he decided to cash out. And so it was an opportunity for me because now I got to find a below market deal in a super hot market. I've made offers on multiple properties in this area, but I got outbid on every single one because everybody's trying to buy a home right now. And so properties like this, these undervalued distressed deals, provide opportunity for investors because now you're looking at properties that the majority of people are not looking at. Most people that are gonna look at this property are gonna come in and they're gonna walk right out because just the way it smells, the way it looks, it doesn't feel like a brand new home yet. And so that's why I like this property because I'm able to get it below market value. Bought it for $110,000. I think we can get it fully renovated between the $10,000 to $20,000 range. I'm anticipating closer to the $10,000, 10 to 15, but I got a budget of $20,000 for renovations to get it ready. And another reason why I like this particular property is because although it looks ugly, it's actually in really great shape. So we have a crawl space here. So this right here is access to underneath the home. It is not a basement and it's not built on a slab. A slab is a cement kind of foundation. It's built on a crawl. So the space underneath the home. And when we did the building inspection, the inspector went down underneath the property and he saw that the plumbing is all brand new. And he saw that it's built on cement slabs, so the foundation is really good. The electrical is really good. Everything on the property that's like these major issues are good. It's just the cosmetics are ugly, which is the best thing that you can ask for when you're looking for an investment property, because cosmetics can be fixed relatively inexpensively. But foundational issues, like if you have a property that is about to fall over, or if you have mechanical issues, plumbing issues, electrical issues, those can get very expensive very fast. Cosmetic issues like paint, I mean, this is gonna be kind of a pricey paint job because we gotta scrub all this nastiness off, and we're gonna probably have to put in a few coats of paint. I wanna redo the flooring, I wanna upgrade the appliances. I mean, I wanna make this property look nice. So it's gonna cost money, but it's not as bad as if we had to lift up the property and fix the foundational work and do all of that. I do like multifamily units, but in this market, this seller's market, it has been extremely difficult to find a multifamily unit. Let me show you the bathroom. So you can see the bathtub, just look at the ceiling. There's bugs flying around. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but you can see that, you know, it's just really outdated. The floor here is not too good. We're gonna upgrade the flooring. And yeah, so, you know, multifamily units are kind of hard to come by. So that's why I've been looking at single family homes. But again, location is super important, and how to find a good deal is super important. That's why I've been looking at here. So first you gotta know where to buy, what to buy. Second, when it comes to actual negotiation, you gotta understand the market. This is, at the time of me recording this video, a seller's market. So you gotta understand that if you wanna play in the seller's market, you gotta know how to find deals. For me, I don't like overpaying. And so that's why I'm looking for these distressed type of deals. I'll talk about how you can find more distressed deals in a little bit. But you just kind of have to understand that if you don't want to be competing on these super nice properties, you got to find distressed properties. It's a little bit more work, but that's how you can find below market value deals. And then when you actually get into contract to buy a home, that's where you got to make sure you do due diligence. So in the seller's market right now, the thing that really concerns me is a lot of people are buying homes without any contingency, without any due diligence period. Which means as soon as you enter into a contract to buy a home, you have to buy it. If you don't buy it, you lose your deposit. I will never do that because I did that one time and it was my worst real estate deal and it ended up biting me in the butt. So I don't do that. I always negotiate a due diligence period. I want a minimum of 5 days. And what I do during that contingency period is I bring in my inspector. So first thing I did is I brought in a property building inspector. He walked through the entire property, walked through the roof, went underneath the property, looked at the mechanical, looked at the plumbing, looked at the electrical. So he went through the entire property and told me if anything was major wrong with the property. And there wasn't. So that was good news. Cosmetically, yeah, this property needs work, but on the major foundational issues, it was good. Second thing I did was I got a sewage line inspection, because on these older homes, you want to make sure that your sewage line is working and is not running into major issues. And so what happened here was this company came out, they took a camera, they ran it through the sewage line, and they saw that there was a lot of roots there. But we also discovered that part of the sewage line was completely replaced and a part of it was not. And so because of these roots, because of that kind of sewage line issue, I knew that that could be a potential major issue, and also potentially could be okay depending on how we deal with it. And so that's when we renegotiated the price from $112,000 down to $110,000. And it ended up working out in my favor because I talked to the plumbing company. And essentially what they said was that it is okay. What we need to do is we need to get the plumbing jetted once a year. That's going to cost me $600 to $900 a year. That way I never have to worry about the plumbing issues. But I also got to shave a couple grand off of the purchase price in order to get that. So I'm okay with that. It's not really anything major, just kind of preventative care to make sure that the sewage line continues to stay clean, because there's some trees out in the property. So I want to make sure that these trees are not having the roots go into the property. So that was the second thing when it came to actually making sure that this was going to be a good deal, was making sure that the property was okay. And I also got a termite inspector to come out, because when you have a crawl space, if there's wood in the crawl, you want to make sure that there's no termites there. So this was actually kind of interesting, because the termite inspector came out and he said, you know what, I'm not going in the crawl. And he walked away. He turned down a few $100s just because he didn't want to go in the crawl space, even though when I called the termite inspection company, I told them that this was a property with a crawl space, and they said that was no problem. And so the inspector came in his brand new F-150. He said, I don't want to go in the crawl space. And he just walked away. Ended up working out because my building inspector went into the crawl space and he said, Jaspreet, you just saved yourself a few $100 because there's no wood under here, because in the crawl space, that's where he wanted to go to see if there's any termites on the wood. There was no wood there. It was all cement blocks. So he said he had nothing to worry about with termites anyways. So I saved a few $100 because he didn't want to do any work, and it ended up working out in my favor. So after you enter into a contract to buy a property, make sure you do your own due diligence on the property, meaning do your own inspections. And you also want to do your own due diligence on the area that you're buying in. You probably want to do that before you make an offer, but you want to know where you're buying. For me, I want to know where the money is going, and I want to know where young people are going, because those are kind of like the next hip places, right? You have a lot of kind of young people that are looking for the next place to be. That's what I'm looking for too. That's what I'm looking for as an investment. And so those are things that you want to pay attention to. Then when it comes to the actual renovations, now that's going to be starting actually this evening. It's the afternoon right now. And so the renovations are going to be cosmetic. We're going to be upgrading the flooring. We're going to be scrubbing the crap out of this property so it doesn't smell like crap anymore. We're going to be upgrading the light fixtures, just repainting the whole house. We're going to be upgrading the kitchen, new appliances. And so it's going to look a whole lot better. We're going to be upgrading the bathroom. The bathroom is nasty. We're going to be cleaning it out so there's no more bugs in here. I mean, it's just a bunch of little things. That way we can make this property look a whole lot better without doing anything major. We're not going to be doing any like removing of walls or doing anything like that because we want it to be a rental. It's already, I mean, it's in a good format. It's just we want to make this property look nice, because when somebody looks at this right now, if they walked in, they're going to think it's a dump and they're going to walk right out. And so we can do a lot of cosmetics here. The second thing I'm going to be doing, or actually have already done, this person came in like right after we closed, is there's a lot of trees, like I mentioned. And so there's tree branches that were hanging over the house. And that's a liability, because if that tree branch were to break, if there was a storm and the tree branch falls on the house, now your roof is damaged. Now you got people potentially injured, and that's a big problem. So take a look at these trees. You can see huge trees, no more branches going over the home. We have it over here as well. If you can see, no branches going over the home. I'm not sure if you can see it properly, but we got no more branches going over the home. So we just removed that liability. So making sure the outside is good. We're going to be painting some of this outside porch, because this porch just looks ugly right now. Doing some light landscaping work, just making the home look nice. So when we talk about trying to find a good location to invest in, where are people going? One of the easiest indicators of that is just driving around a neighborhood and looking for a couple things. One, looking for yard signs. I love when I see people have lawn signs about things they're passionate about, because it shows that people care about their property. Just drive through neighborhoods. See, are people taking care of their property? Are they doing landscaping? Are they putting signs out? Are they a community? If you see that, one, I love that, because it tells you people want to be here. They feel like they belong to a community. If people feel like they belong to a community, they want to be there. Second thing you want to look for is just people walking around. If you see people walking around with the dogs, taking the dogs on a walk and going on bike rides, it is a safe area, because people feel safe going on walks. People feel safe riding the bike around. And the third thing that I like to look for, if you see this, now you know you're in a good area, is if you just see kids playing around outside. Because if parents feel safe letting their kids play outside, you know it is a good area, because if it wasn't, then the parents would probably be out there with the kids, making sure something bad doesn't happen. And so it's just these little things that you want to pay attention to. Are people taking care of their properties? Do people feel safe walking around? Do people care about their properties enough to do nice landscaping? If so, then this could be a good area. Now you want to see, is there money flowing into this area? You can talk to the city to see what businesses are coming in. You can read the news, kind of to see what's going on in the local neighborhood. But get involved in their community. I mean, if you know what's going on in the community, that's opportunity for you, because in real estate, insider trading is not illegal. Because if you know that a business is coming into the area before everybody else does, by just doing your research, well, now you can capitalize on that by going in and buying properties or buying an investment property, because you know that, okay, if this business moves here, more people are gonna wanna live here, and that could push property prices or rents higher. So here we are right now with this property. Give me a couple weeks so we can get this property renovated, and I will show you where we are in a couple weeks. Ready? See you soon. All right, this property is pretty much done. Let's take a look inside. So here we go. As soon as you walk in, you'll see that we got brand new looking walls. We got brand new paint all around. We have new flooring everywhere. Looks like a brand new home now. I mean, everything is just so clean. It smells so much fresher. It looks so much nicer. We have light fixtures everywhere. We have light bulbs. We have a new fan in here. Let's take a look into the kitchen over here. We have brand new stainless steel appliances. Where's the light? Over here. We have brand new appliances. We have the stove over here. We have the fridge over there. We have new washer and dryer. You can see we have a brand new hood over here too. Now the home looks a whole lot better, and now we can finally get a family in here. I thought that this would take me about 2 weeks to do. It ended up taking me a little bit longer just because of the market that we're in right now. We were having a tough time actually sourcing this flooring, so that took a little while. We had an issue with appliances not being available, so we had to wait longer to get the appliances. So it ended up taking us close to 4 weeks, still not horrible. And the total cost of the renovation, including the appliances, including the flooring, including all the renovation, including the plumbing work, I told you a little bit earlier how we needed to do some work with the sewage and plumbing, get that jetted. It cost us on the higher end right around $20,000. So we bought the property for $110,000, put in another right around $20,000 with the renovations. So we're all in at $130,000. The thing that's really interesting though is that my property management company told me that they already have a soft commitment for somebody to live in this property, and they're expected to pay $1,450 a month. So quite a bit more than what the previous tenants were paying in this property when it was looking like a dump. So my goal when I invest in real estate, I'm looking for a minimum 7% cash on cash return. Meaning when I invest $1, I want to get 7 cents a year in cash flow. That's after all expenses. And this property should definitely be able to hit that now, especially with a $1,400 or $1,450 a month in rent. Let's take a look upstairs. If you remember, these carpets upstairs were so nasty. They had these red stains everywhere. It was so gross. Look at that. Beautiful flooring everywhere. It looks so nice. You come into this room where there was holes in the walls. There was duct tape, wood. There was just nastiness everywhere. I mean, everything just kind of looks like a well put together property. The reason why it cost a little bit more than what we expected was as my contractor was doing work, they found some issues in the roof. They said that there could have been potential leaks and some other issues with that. So we wanted to be proactive, and we got all those issues taken care of instead of waiting for it to become an issue. So we ended up paying a little bit of extra money to take care of that right now and to take care of the issues that we don't have to worry about issues in the future. And so that's why it costed a little bit more than what we expected, but it was still right in within our budget range. So it ended up working out pretty well. And now it's time to get the property rented. The strange thing that this market that we're in at the time we're recording this video is that one, it's very hard to find work because a lot of people are buying homes, a lot of people are doing renovations, and two, it's really hard to find supplies. I mean, even the price of a lot of materials from paint to wood is a lot higher now than it was just a year ago, and to find like appliances or certain floorings, it's been a lot more difficult. So if you are looking at real estate investment deals, plug that into your pro forma because it's going to cost you a little bit more for labor and a little bit more for parts, and it might take you a little bit longer to get your stuff. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to invest in real estate right now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, here's a video on how to start generating passive income that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, download our free money management PDF. And as always, keep hustling. But in the long run, what really affects the stock's price is its fundamentals. That's how much money is the company making? How are their profits looking? Are their revenues growing? Are their profits growing? How is the management, and are they innovating for the future? So these are the things that really affect the company's stock price over the long term.